You're listening to the BBC World Service. This is James Kumarasamy with Newshour. We begin, though, with two apparently unrelated natural events which have made our planet feel rather more vulnerable than usual. The first, a blinding bolt from the blue in Russia. There in all its glory, the sound of a meteor travelling at hypersonic speeds and releasing several kilotons of energy and striking the city of Chelyabinsk in the southern Urals. So far, more than 1,000 people are known to have been injured, mainly by flying glass, and at least 3,000 buildings have been damaged. Well, the local resident Polina Zolotaryevskaya told the BBC what she had seen.
It was quite extraordinary. We saw a very bright light, and then there was a kind of a track, white and yellow in the sky. It was a very broad track, and then in several seconds there was a strong explosion. The explosion was so strong that some windows in our building and in the buildings that are across the road and in the city in general, the windows broke.
Well, Alexander Valiev is a reporter for Radio Liberty in Chelyabinsk. He said that local people hadn't been warned.
There was no warning whatsoever. No official warning beforehand, nothing. For the first hour and a half, the mobile phone system went down, and there was no official reaction for the first hour and a half. Then, later, after that, there was a very timid official statement saying something had happened. It might be a plane, it might be a meteorite, it's better to not go out on the street, it might be better if you take your kids home from school, etc.
By a strange cosmic coincidence, the meteor struck the Russian heartland just a few hours before an asteroid as big as half a football or rugby pitch and called 2012 DA14 has passed a mere 28,000 kilometres from us. Now, that might sound like a long way off, but it's the closest an asteroid of that size has ever got to Earth. Lots of questions there. Perhaps one of the more basic ones. What is the difference between an asteroid, a meteor and a meteorite? Well, earlier on I got the answer from Richard P. Binzel, who's Professor of Planetary Science at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
The object, when it's in space, is an asteroid. As it strikes the atmosphere of the Earth and becomes a streak across the sky, that's a meteor. And if any fragments survive that you can pick up, those fragments are called meteorites.
Right, and in terms of the damage that was done, what was that done by? It was the sound, the boom, or the fragments themselves, or both?
When the little asteroid hits the top of the atmosphere, we think it was as large as an SUV or a small truck. When it hits the atmosphere at about 18 kilometers per second, it creates a huge pressure wave. The atmosphere is trying to slow it down, but in that slowing down process, it creates a shock wave or a pressure wave. And eventually that object broke apart, probably about 10 kilometers above the surface. And so even though the object itself did not do any damage of itself, that pressure wave that was being punched into the atmosphere continued, and it was the pressure wave that hit the ground, caused the sonic booms, and broke windows and injured a few eardrums.
Now, as far as this other asteroid, the one that's a lot bigger but a lot further away, although in relative terms close by, we're hearing that there's no coincidence. It's simply a coincidence, I should say. One of our listeners on our Facebook page, Craig Jenkinson, posted, "I find it hard to believe there is no link with this asteroid flyby. Surely pieces of the asteroid may have broken off some distance away and were flung into a different orbit. Is that not a possibility?"
It turns out these two objects came from exactly opposite directions, and the laws of orbital physics simply don't let two related objects be moving in completely opposite directions. So the timing is absolutely amazing. We're as just befuddled as any, but the opposite directions in orbital physics just don't compute.
And we heard there from a reporter in Chelyabinsk saying that there had been no warning as far as he knew, or certainly hadn't heard one. Could the authorities have given much of a warning about this?
The object that struck over Russia was too small to have likely been detected. We have many telescopic surveys in the United States with NASA and many international partners. And those surveys are focused on finding the largest objects, the ones that if they hit the Earth would be devastating on a continental scale, not on a local scale. So the survey completeness at the smallest sizes is not very complete. So it's no surprise at all that this particular small, by cosmic standards object, this small object had no warning.
Okay, Professor, thanks very much. Let's just talk now to Chu Owen, who's an astronomy enthusiast here in Britain. And Chu, did you manage to get a glimpse of this bigger but further away asteroid?
Hi there. Yeah, I haven't unfortunately yet managed to see it. No, the clouds, although the forecast was good, they're not always getting that right, even you guys at the BBC. But no, it's hopefully it's sort of clearing, so I'm hoping to get a bit of a glimpse of it, but nothing yet, I'm afraid.
You're poised, are you? What have you got? What are you looking through?
I've got a Skywatcher telescope, which is an 80mm refractor, and it's good because it's small and portable, and you can sort of point it, because this thing obviously is going to be moving a different direction and trajectory to the background stars, so you have to actually move it manually. You can't really, there's no program, as far as I know, that's that someone's written for tracking it with a computerized mount or something.
Okay, well, one excited astronomy enthusiast there waiting here in Britain. Richard Binzel, just tell us what we expect from this other bigger asteroid. Will he be able to see something?
Yes, it should be, even binoculars should show it. It's a matter of pointing in the right part of the sky. It's heading up towards the plow, and it will be drifting in that part of the northern part of the sky. And it will just look like a tiny moving star.
Tiny moving star there. Richard Binzel, Professor of Planetary Science at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was also speaking to Chu Owen, hopefully waiting to see that asteroid. One other question that was posted on Facebook from Hayford Appiah. Big question, really, that both these events make us wonder perhaps what else is out there. One I should have asked, perhaps. Now, the initial military